So for this next one, looks familiar, huh? This was lesson 1, but we're going to be editing video. In this one, we're going to utilize the way that a lot of you created your GIFs earlier on. And you're going to contain some still, animated, and video layers. So in this lesson, you're going to use that timeline panel. You're going to add some video clips. You're going to make them as a sequence. You're going to overlay layers that you animate, and then you're going to add some background music. Adobe products, obviously, you've got a lot of programs you can use alternatively, but it's a really fun thing to learn. We do it a lot with some of our outdoor signage and marquee signs, the animated signs that we see outside. But for anything more complex than something like this, use Premiere Pro and After Effects for motion graphics. So we're going to start our Photoshop, which if you just finished the other lesson, you're already in it. Let me switch back to my teaching. Close this. Now we're going to browse and bridge. Okay. All right. Here is our lesson 11 folder. We're going to double click it and we're going to select the 11 end.mp4 file. Okay. This is the final video. Okay, that's the video that you'll be creating. We're going to double click this end file. This is what you're going to end up seeing. Let's go ahead and open it up. It is 10 seconds long. We're going to take a look here. We're going to go to Window and Timeline. You remember this from your GIF assignment. Let me zoom in here. There's your timeline. So if you're seeing it like me right here, see how it's farther out? Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see as much of it as you need to. Okay, there we go. So if we're going to look at everything, if it's explaining your timeline panel, A is your play, B is your work area start right here, C is your playhead, all this space here, and this piece that's going to be moving along right there. So then you've got your work area end, okay, E, there's your image layer, let's bring it up to your paint, okay. Then you've got F, that's your video clip right down here, the one in blue. Then you've got G, that's your music, down here. Then you've got your render video button, that's going to be H, that's right over here. Then you've got your I, your current time, right there. You can see that's where it's placed. If you move it around, it's going to change. Then your frame rate, J, is right down here, 30 frames per second, FPS. And then your control timeline magnification slider is what I just showed you how to zoom in. Okay, so that's kind of everything that you've got there. So that playhead moves across that time ruler. Okay, so when you press play, that we just watched that video, you're going to see things come in when these little keystrokes are in. You're going to see stuff change here. Okay, so watch. Okay, that explains a little bit. So your space bar can act as a play pause while you're at it. So we're going to leave this open so we can refer to it, but we are going to go back up, File, Browse, and Bridge. Okay, we're going to take our 11 start. We're going to open that. We're going to save it as 11 working. Yes and yes. So our timeline panel, empty. There's nothing there. Okay, so we're going to go to Create Video Timeline. We're going to click on that here, and now it's opened up all of these pieces, right? You've got your live stream. You have your History 301. You've got your paint layer. You have your rectangle A and rectangle B, which are the two colored shapes. You have your color fill and your arch. Now the live stream, those have been converted to shape so that they allow it to be placed if you don't have that matching font. Okay, view, fit on screen. So that layer panel content now appears, and it appears as tracks. If you play the timeline, you'll notice that the still layers aren't animated yet. So watch. So let's take a look at what it looks like if we play them. So we're going to adjust the total duration of this timeline. We're going to bring this all to be a 10-second video. Let's go ahead and change this so that we can see everything. We're going to take this live stream and we're going to move it to the 10-second mark. So see where it says end duration? We're going to move that all the way until it's at 10. Perfect. We're going to do that with all the other ones so that they end at 10. So let's select here and we're going to grab them all. Do this, move to 10, this, move to 10. Okay. We're going to bring in a video group. Okay, so let's go over to Arch. Okay, we're going to select this drop down right here and we're going to go to new video group. Okay, now we've grouped this together. We're going to go in here and we're going to add media. Now here's our lesson 11 file folder. Go into media and we're going to shift and select 1, 2, and 3. And we are going to hit open. Okay, that has brought in your 3 clips right here. Now you can see that this has made a clip that's much longer than the 10 seconds we've allotted. It goes all the way to almost 22. Now we are not going to need this still layer that's still here. So we're going to take that away and we're going to delete it. We're going to click this button, which takes us to the first frame. And we're going to push play just to see how it looks so far. See the filter and the text have left from there. We're going to press the space bar and then we're going to go back to the first frame. We're going to go ahead and hit save so that we can keep where we are at right now. And we're going to bring in some audio. You can see we have an audio track area down here. So we're going to click that music note and we're going to do add audio. We're going to grab this music.mp3 file and we're going to hit open. Then you can see it brings in that music file. Let's go ahead and we're going to change the duration of this. We're going to move this down and keep going until you see the duration say 10 seconds. Now while we're moving towards the right, it's shortening the duration. Okay, so we're going to go right here to 10 and we're going to let go. Now do you see it's brought it down here? So let's try it again. Okay, I'm going to go right over here to this little triangle. We are going to change that fade in to 0.25 seconds. And we're going to change the fade out to 0.5. Now the video track, we're going to cut that down for time. And we're going to kind of arrange them so that they work with the chord change. So let's take a listen and mark where that changes. Okay, so definitely at the 5 second. Let's try again. Great. So let's go back. We're going to move the ship over to about 2. And then we're going to move this to about 5. See how they sync up. To be more accurate, let's line this up so that the end is at 5. We were right at 5:01. Maybe if we zoom in a little bit more. Okay, that's at 5. Let's go ahead and trim the end here all the way to 10 seconds. Okay, let's check it one more time. Great. Okay, so that's done. We're going to save. Then we're going to bring in some keyframes on the text that you saw earlier when the live stream comes in and starts moving. So that lets you control that animation. So if you're used to doing any kind of reels and shorts and editing on your phones, or if you use any of your video recording programs, a keyframe is something that will let you have animations and effects, and it gives you a time frame that it'll be modified. So whether it's something that does a trail in or it disintegrates and disappears, you're going to have it associated with a time frame, and that's where those keyframes come into play. You're going to have at least 2 keyframes, so one will be at the beginning and one will be at the end. There are some you can place in between, but we're just going to stick with those 2. So this will let you do the animations that you saw in that final file that we played earlier. So let's bring up the live stream layer that we have. Let's click up top. We're going to take that playhead to about 5 seconds here. Okay, let's zoom in now that we've shortened this clip. So we're going to go to about 5. There's a triangle that is next to the live stream. There we go. Now this opens up a couple of options that we have here. So this has your position, opacity, your style, your vector mask position, and vector mask enable. All right, so we're going to move this playhead to 5 seconds. Then we're going to go over here and drop down the live stream. We're going to go down to our vector mask position, and we're going to click this little stopwatch that'll enable the keyframe. We're going to go all the way to our 4, but then we're going to move this. Okay, and then we're going to close it by clicking on it. We're going to go back. Okay, so you've just animated with your keyframes. Let's do another one. We played the timeline. We're having that live stream layer move into position by 5 seconds. In the timeline panel, let's click the triangle to the left of the live stream. See this? We're going to close its attributes and we're going to save. So let's do the same thing for the rectangles that we did. Let's move our playhead to 5 seconds. Let's go to rectangle A. Okay, we're going to drop this down. We're going to go to our position and we're going to click here. And then we are going to shift drag that rectangle A to the layer to the right until it's slightly beyond the right of the canvas. Okay, so let's grab our move tool. We're going to go all the way over. Oh. Okay, we're going to go there. Then we're going to close it. We're going to try that. Okay. Great. Let's do the same with B. We're going to put that playhead. I'm going to close this first. Put that playhead at 5. Click our position. We're going to move this to 0. We are going to use our move tool, which is already activated. We're going to drag it to the left until the left edge is aligned with the left canvas edge. Okay. Ooh. There. Okay. We're going to close that, and then we are going to start it over. Great. So we're going to go ahead and save. Now that History 301 should appear to zoom in, and we are going to animate its size. All right. So let's move that playhead. We're going to bring this down. Let's move the playhead to 5 seconds again. We're going to put the triangle that's next to History 301. We're going to go to our scale, size. Let's convert it to a smart object, shall we? We're going to select that track. We're going to go to Layer, Smart Object, Convert to Smart Object. That makes it so the text is no longer editable and it's now being recognized as a shape. Now, once we drop open this 301, you see that we have Transform, Opacity, and Style. Click that stopwatch for the transform. We're going to move the playhead all the way to 0. Go to Edit. We're going to go to Edit, Free Transform. And up here in that property bar that's up top, we're going to put 1% in that W field, the width. We're going to press Enter twice. Awesome. Now the last part that we're going to do, let's go back to the beginning, is we're going to change that opacity. We're going to fix that paint layer, and we're going to have it where it syncs with the live stream layer and that arrives over it. So again, back to 5 seconds right here. We're going to go over to the paint track right here. Okay, we're going to put the stopwatch next to opacity. We are going to move that playhead to 4 when it comes in. We're going to change that opacity to 0. Close that. Let's give it a try. Great job. So yeah, for each layer you added a keyframe with a beginning and end where you click to make sure it's closed. And you can do this for everything. You can do this for your story intros, reel intros, any sort of video. You can have even more fun if you're making GIFs, but this was a great way to wrap up one of your fun creative discussion projects. So that's it. You're done. Hit save and you can upload this for me.